I'm Colleen McVeigh.
And I'm Macy Eglund. A touching tribute tonight to Detective Brian Simonson as his body returned home to Suffolk County.
Yeah, there was an arch detail on every overpass on the Long Island Expressway from the city to the East End. Hundreds of first responders took part in tonight's procession.
Detective Simonson's body was greeted with a salute at the end of the procession at the DeFriest Groton Funeral Home in Mattituck. News 12 Long Island's Kevin Vesey takes a look at the tragic events that led to Detective Brian Simonson's death.
The radio transmission is chilling. Capturing the moment, 42 shots were fired in just 11 seconds. A hail of bullets that left NYPD Detective Brian Simonson dead.
This happens in seconds. It goes from 0 to 60.
Officials say Simonson and Sergeant Matthew Gorman were investigating a separate case when a call came in for an armed robbery at this T-Mobile store in Queens. 6 uniformed officers were also at the scene. And when the group went inside, investigators say they were confronted by the suspect.
The perpetrator makes his way right up to that front door. He holds up his hand with the firearm in his hand, and he simulates that he's firing at the officers.
Turns out the suspect's handgun was a fake. But tragically, Detective Simonson, a Calverton native, was struck once in the chest and killed by friendly fire. Officials say he was not wearing a protective vest. Sergeant Gorman from Seaford was hit in the leg and is expected to recover. His neighbors telling us they're relieved that he survived.
This is just terrible, but thank God he's all right. Thank God he's alive.
As for the suspected thief, police say his name is Christopher Ramson, a career criminal with a long rap sheet, including charges of impersonating a police officer. At this point, it's not known who fired the bullet that killed Simonson, but NYPD Chief Terrence Monahan made it clear that responsibility for the detective's death falls solely on the suspect.
The scene is caused by a man charging at police officers. The blame goes to that individual for doing that.
Kevin Vesey, News 12, Long Island.
Police have now charged Christopher Ransom with murder, robbery, assault, aggravated manslaughter, and menacing.
Detective Simonson was a 19-year veteran on the police force, and tonight his colleagues and friends are remembering his kind, loving nature.
Fun. They used to call him Smiles. He had that was his nickname, and everybody loved him. Tons of friends, and just no words. I can't even express it.
Brian Simonson was the greatest person that has ever lived. Brian brought joy and happiness and light to the world, period. New York was just a small portion of that, but the world lost honest to God, one of the best.
Detective Simonson's former partner, Terrence LaGrady, just one of many who paid their respects to Simonson's wife at their Calverton home today. Simonson is a lifelong East End resident, growing up in Jamesport and graduating from Riverhead High School. His wake will be held at St. Rosalie Roman Catholic Church in Hampton Bays Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. and Tuesday from 2 to 4 in the afternoon and 7 to 9 at night. His funeral mass is Wednesday morning. He will be laid to rest at the Jamesport Cemetery. News 12 will bring you the complete coverage of the services honoring Detective Simonson here on air, online, and on our mobile app.